where did we come from? Where do you come from? Where do people come from?
Like, where do we think humans come from?
Yeah, yeah, like life on Earth and everything that we see around us. Where is everything? Where did it start?
Personally, I believe that it all started as it was evolution originally. So, I'm Christian Orthodox, so I believe in God. So I believe that God created the heaven and the earth and created the universe and then let natural course take its way. And that's how we got life, just from sheer luck, you know? Because a lot of people say, there's debates whether God exists or not, and then there's debates that he doesn't exist, there's debates that he does. I believe that there is a God, but I also believe in science, so, but I, never let them cross together.
I simply just believe in evolution, how we came from like apes and all other animals. And I think like we also came from like aquatic species as well. And to adapt, they also came from like the water to like on land as well. So that's what I think. I don't know, because I'm also atheist, so yeah.
Okay, so I mean, you got an interesting thing because it's Bronco, right? You started off talking about God and about evolution, but and you spoke about the fact that there was just like luck, that it was luck that happened. How does that kind of tie in with the idea of there being a God? Like, was he involved with
Well,
that process?
you see, if gravity was a little bit different, the universe would cease to exist. If a rock moved an inch to the left, it might hit us in a million years. Now, that could be a coincidence, but it's it's not a problem to think there is a God, considering how lucky we are to have everything just so perfect. If the Big Bang is real and we all came from a little peanut and it all just exploded, who's to say there isn't something more than this? Maybe there's a creator, but
So another interesting idea on this is if I ask you how a kettle boils, could you guys tell me how a kettle boils?
how a kettle boils?
Yeah, yeah. Any idea how a kettle boils?
Well, the metal conducts heat, and then the heat is transferred into the liquid, and as the liquid heats up, the particles inside of it move faster and go farther apart, and it begins to boil.
Yeah, there's like a transfer of energy. Yeah, good. Anything to add to that? All right. That sound now. What if I said a kettle boils because someone flips the switch? Would that be a valid answer to the question?
Yeah, actually, that seems to make sense. Yeah.
So if you've got so even if you take for granted the idea of evolution, evolution's kind of in the way that you're explaining it. You're talking about the mechanism of how the energy transfers from the element to the water, right?
Yeah.
But you're not talking about who flipped the switch, or who made the peanut that was nothing in the beginning of time. What caused that object at rest to move when an object at rest doesn't move unless it's acted on by an outside force, so a force outside of space and time. Okay, well, that's interesting questions. But what about the next one? Why? And I'm going to ask both of you because you've got a slightly different thing going on, right? Is why are we here? Like, what's the meaning or the point of life?
Not really. There is no point. It's just you're born, you live, and then I believe that you go on to an afterlife. Maybe you get reincarnated. People believe in what they want to believe. I never force my religion on anybody else, and I hope that they wouldn't force it on me. If you're Buddhist, I think you believe in reincarnation. If you're Punjab or Sikh, it's same thing. It's reincarnation. Christian, you go to heaven. Doesn't matter who's right or wrong. We're all here to just live.
Okay, so you'd say that there's not really any meaning.
I don't think there needs to be a meaning. I don't think there needs to be a meaning to be alive. You're just kind of placed on the earth, and out of the very small chance of becoming a human, you became a human, and now you live.
Okay, great. What do you think?
I've always kind of thought of it like just kind of reproduction overall, because like Like unlike rabbits, humans kind of like evolved much more, and their brain kind of like was forced to make connections to other people, and then they had like more emotions than like rabbits. Like rabbits can still have like emotions and things like that, but like they're more like programmed to just reproduce even more, and then die, right? So I think humans, since they like evolved more and more, it was more like other things in life that wasn't just like necessary survival. It was just other things that they wanted as well, due to.
So what would the purpose then, or the meaning of life be for a human? What's your meaning?
I mean, it's just reproduction, really. There's not really a meaning, I don't think, because like depends what we call like human life or just like the experience of it overall.
Yeah, yeah. And so I think you touched on this a little bit, because there's only three questions. The last one was, where are we going, or what happens after we die? And so you kind of touched a little bit on different ideas, and you spoke about like a Buddhist having an idea of a reincarnation, different Hindu sects as well, and a Christian idea of heaven. Do you want to elaborate on what your own thought is?
What I was born to believe and how I went to church and all that. The stories say how we believe is it's a 1,000-year walk on the beach with Jesus, and then you go to live in eternal paradise. Nobody knows what it looks like. Nobody knows what it is, but people, they talk about it. So that's what I believe. And personally, I just like thinking about it. It's because like you don't want to really be on the earth to say there's no point. Why be here? There's nothing afterward. Who cares? I just like to think that there's something afterward. It just gives me a purpose, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
Helps me go on.
Good, good. What about yourself? Where do we go? What happens after?
I don't think anything really happens. I would like to think that reincarnation, kind of like how Buddhists think, but I don't think anything happens afterwards. And I think thinking that way kind of gives me like value, like makes me value like life that we have now more than we would.
All right. So, just kind of putting your answers together. Help me understand if I'm getting you right. We're here by accident without any cause, right? We're here by accident. There's no meaning to why our life is here ultimately, and we're going nowhere or to nothing. Do you live your life consistent with that? Do you live your life as if this is meaningless, I'm here by accident and I'm going nowhere?
Definitely not, no, because I don't think about it.
No, what's the point in waking up in the morning and saying, you know what, I'm gonna die anyway. Let me just lay in bed. Because like, what kind of a person does that? You watch a TV show, and you think, oh, the main character goes and does some cool main character stuff. You think they're gonna lie in their bed all day? No, you gotta get up and go do something. Make something. At least make your life enjoyable. Make it.
Why should we enjoy life if it's meaningless?
I didn't completely say it's meaningless.
Okay.
I wouldn't say it's meaningless.
Okay. What would be what's the purpose then of life?
Basically, it's to live, to reproduce, and to die. So you live, you start a new life, and you just live and enjoy your life.
Yeah.
That's the whole purpose. The whole purpose is enjoying. So it's not why would we enjoy it if there's no purpose. The purpose is to enjoy it.
Yeah, and of course, eventually everyone stops enjoying it, right? Because eventually suffering's inescapable for everyone, right? It always catches up to us, and there's no way out. Have you? I don't know if you know. Do you guys drink coffee? Don't drink coffee. Anyway, there's like the espresso machine, right? If you ever try to make popcorn with an espresso machine, it's a terrible thing to try and do because your popcorn, comes out all soggy with like brown bits on it, stuff like that. It's a mess because you're not using the machine for what it was designed for. And kind of like everyone thought that way. Like if there's something that's been designed, if there's something that's got a purpose, it works best when it's used according to its manual. And one of the things that happened for humanity is if you believe that God made us, that God put humankind here with a purpose and made us in his image with value, is that we're here for the sake of bringing him glory, of showing actually how much he's worth. And when we do that, we find our greatest satisfaction. We're living in line with ultimate reality, and that there's actually a perfect destiny ahead of people that are living in line with that. They're living in line with the manufacturer's designs. They're not trying to make popcorn with an espresso machine. And so when you do that, you suddenly start seeing how suffering and injustice and corruption, but also joy, all of those things come together and have meaning. There is such a thing as joy, right? It's not just chemicals in your head. Like when you feel something, when you see a sunset and say that's beautiful, or when you fall in love, those things are not just biochemical reactions. Like a mother that's changing a child's dirty diaper, she's not saying, well, I'm just changing a whole bunch of molecules in front of me is dirty diaper, and I'm a bunch of molecules, and soon both of us are going to be rotting in a grave. No, they know that there's meaning to this, even though they might deny it in their philosophy. And then one of the things that happened, just to pull it all together for us, and I'll leave you guys with this, is that 2,000 years ago, ultimate reality, or the meaning of life, became a human, became flesh in the person of Jesus Christ. And he lived the life that we should have lived, and then he died the death that we should have died, because we're all not living according to the manufacturer's designs. We're all living for self. We're all saying, I'm going to do what I want. I'm going to find pleasure in my things, instead of saying, well, the manufacturer made us. He knows I'm going to live according to his design. We say, I'm going to be the designer, and then we end up with the kind of suffering that we have and difficulties and challenges. But because of what Jesus did, dying in our place, in the place of sinners, so that we can go and be forgiven, we have an opportunity not just to be forgiven of sins, but to be freed from sins, from the love of sin, from the love of those kind of things that would drag us down. And I just wanted to be able to share that with you guys after you've been so kind to answer a couple of my questions. So thanks a lot. Yeah, cool. Can I give you guys this?
Yeah, sure.
There you go. Great. Well, have a good evening. Yeah.
I'm Corey McKenna, the equipping evangelist and founder of the Cross Current, and I can equip you to be an evangelism tiger. How? 2 words: by example. Fact: a tiger cub can be raised to think it's just a house cat, but if it sees the example of a true tiger, its God-given identity is unleashed. Well, as a tiger cub for Christ, that was my experience in evangelism. I was a pastor when I first saw the example of an evangelism tiger, and now I've since equipped countless Christians to be evangelism tigers with lost loved ones, and I can equip you to be one too. To be an evangelism tiger, watch my new show called Go Teams Media and see me and my team exempling evangelism. Just click on the blue button and subscribe to my channel. See you there.